Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at Cherish the Season again. I'm going to be doing quite a lot with these because I absolutely love it. I think bells at Christmas time are just so beautiful. We started with a very simple one the other day and we are going to do one now with the dies. I said that you can get the stamp set and the dies as a bundle together and you save 10%. Details will be below in the description box if you want to get hold of it. And the dies, just beautiful. They're called Sounds of the Season because obviously they're bells. So if we open this up, we can then see. Now I haven't got my metallic sheets yet. So you have a beautiful large bell with, you can see, lovely detail in. The holly actually die cuts right the way through, so you can have it either with those pieces in or you can pop them out and take them without. You've got a medium size one where you've got again the little holly and the berries will pop out or you can keep them in. And then you've got a smaller one and that's just got the what is it, pine, little pine pieces on. You've got two little pieces that you can embellish and do as, you know, pine sprigs. You've got a beautiful tiny little bell, which we're going to do something with that because you can make a hard embellishment out of that one. And we'll have a go at that. And then you've got two dies which coordinate with this one and with this one, which is rather good. This one you have to fussy cut out, but you know, you've got these ones to add the extra dimension if you wanted to. So there is one other die in there, which I've already cut something out from, and it's this. Now, these you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 little strips. Those strips fit exactly into the centre of the little bells. It takes the bell from being a beautiful 3D bell just to the next level. It really makes a difference. I've just cut this out on our sticky sheets so I can then take out the one I want. So those are the dies. We are going to be looking at the largest one. And we're going to do a really pretty, beautiful card, which is going to be in Merry Merlot. Now, Merry Merlot, for me, is a beautiful, beautiful colour for Christmas. It's we have Cherry Cobbler, we have Real Red, we have Merry Merlot. For me, Merry Merlot just has that almost maroon, classical-looking Christmas card. Really lovely. When you put your Whisper White on top of it, it's just beautiful. So that's what we're going to be using. And I have also die cut out. Do you remember we were doing quite a bit with the Forever Fern bundle with the Forever Flourishing dies? And this die we did a wreath with. Anything that you want to have a look at, if you subscribe, you can always go back and see any of my other videos. And so I thought that this would actually be lovely for the bell to go on. So this is the bell. I've die cut it out already because you don't need to see me die cutting it out. And you can see the lovely holly and the little berries and things on there. If I turn it over, you can see where those ones will pop out if you want to. I didn't want them to pop out because I wanted that detail to go on there. And I've die cut it with the brushed metallics. Again, there'll be a link to those. I absolutely adore those. They just look so beautiful and classical for Christmas. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp a sentiment down at the bottom. And there's this pretty Merry Christmas with a beautiful font on it. Now, if you, I know that not everybody celebrates the Christmas or the holiday season, but a lot of us like to give cards or presents and things, and you don't need to put, you can put another sentiment on if you want to. So we're going to do this with the Merry Merlot ink. One of the great things about Stampin' Up, why a lot of people join Stampin' Up, is the coordination. It's absolutely perfect. So you have the ink which matches your cardstock. so that everything, particularly when you're doing a classical Christmas card like this, the coordination makes all the difference. So we're just going to ink this up nicely, and then grid paper, perfect thing to be able to sort of line it up, and then we're just going to stamp this down at the bottom like that. So you've got the beautiful, I like that font, very nice, Merry Christmas on there. Now I'm just going to clean this off with my Simply Chamois, which, as I say, is such a brilliant tool. Pop that back in its case, because that's the only bit that we're using from this one today, and that's the only bit of stamping that we need to do today, so I can put those out of the way. Okay, now you know that I am absolutely fixated with this metallic mesh ribbon. I absolutely love it, and I think it just adds that little bit of extra something to a card, particularly, you know, a card for Christmas where you want lots of sort of sparkle and things. So we are going to add, let me just get, I've got some Seal Plus on here, so I'm just going to put a strip of it down there and a strip of it down there, and then we can put the ribbon. Let's just line that up so that that's as centered as I can get it. I think that's about right. Attach it to there, bring it down, oops, take it over on the other side, and then we can just attach it through on there. So you then have that, and the nice thing is, because it's quite lacy looking, you can actually see through it, but it just, so you can still see your sentiment below, but it just adds, I just love it. I think it is just beautiful, and I'm using it so much. I might even get myself another one, because I think for just adding, where we add twine onto a lot of things, and I love adding, you know, a little bit of twine. This really does very fine twine, and it's lacy. It's just beautiful. So I'm really just making sure that I put little bits over the top. I'm really enjoying using this, and I think I will, as I say, I might invest in another one because I think it's lovely. Okay, so we can now just put that in onto our Merry Merlot. And you've got the start, which just adds, as I say, a little something just down on the centre. I just really love it. So we are then going to put our little bow piece on, and this is going to go in on the top like that, and then we're going to have our bell coming in underneath. Now I want to do this piece, so I've left them in just so it's a little bit easier. We take that die piece out, and we'll just take the one out that we want. I've done it with the sticky sheet because, being quite a small piece, and particularly when you're using things like brushed metallic, if you use wet glue, sometimes it can blob across, and then it just makes it look not quite as good. Okay, so this literally just goes in on top like that. And I don't know whether you'll see on the camera, but it makes such a difference. It really does. It just gives that extra bit of dimension. You could even put it on one of the foam sheets. Another option. So this I am going to put, in fact, I should have cut that out on the foam sheet, shouldn't I? Then it would have given it all a lot of dimension. So, and I haven't done that, so we're going to have to use our good old glue dots, dimensionals. Let me see what I've got in dimensionals. I've got some pieces out because I think I'm going to have to do some tiny pieces on this one to just stick them in. No, I think it's going to probably be better for this one to be just stuck down. Yeah, I'm going to stick this one down. because it will take too long to fiddle around with putting dimensionals, but you can cut it out of our foam sheets because it's a fairly simple shape to cut out of the foam sheets, and that will give the whole thing dimension. So if I'd thought about it beforehand, I might have done that, but okay, so that's going to go in on the top. Let me put my bell in to make sure I've got my proportions right. So bell there, that's going to come, because the bell's got to come in on the top. So we're going to put that down there, just in the center. And the nice thing as well about this mesh is, because it's quite lacy, you can stick, as you can see, you can stick your, rather than on ribbon it wouldn't work, with this you can actually stick this quite nicely on top. Okay, then that is going to come in over the top like that, and we can put it up with dimensionals or we can have it flat. I think because I've got this piece flat, I'm going to do the other bit flat as well. And the thing that you need to remember is that because you don't want these pieces to come out, just go over them with some wet glue, or if you're doing your tape, you can put it on with the tape. Be careful with the tape that as you run it across, you don't pull those pieces out. So that's why I'm using wet glue, because I know that that will then stick it nicely and make sure I come down into my little points. But as I say, you can put it with dimensionals or the sheets, and as I say, I will probably do some of them with the sheets. So I'm going to have this literally just sort of hanging in down below like that, maybe just up a little bit so it comes into that center. And then I'm just going to hold it down just for a second, because being metallic, it will just take a little while to adhere. So I'm just holding it down. Put my hand on it for a second while I put this glue back. That's better. That's gone down quite nicely, and then you have, I think it's just beautiful. Now if you wanted to, you could add, we've got some, and I got them out of here. I don't know whether I'm going to use them on these because I think that they're a bit red with this, but they're wonderful gems, and you can just add them as you want. They don't go with, I don't know what red they are with them. I need to look up to see what red, it doesn't say on here, but I think that they're more a cherry cobbler or a real red on there, so they actually won't go with there. Those ones would, because you've got the goldy bits in, but I think it just works as it is. I wouldn't add anything more to it. I think as another, as I say, simple but very elegant looking card, I think that that's absolutely beautiful. Put it onto a card base, which I thought I got one out earlier on to show, but maybe, oh yes, here we are, I put it up at the side. So yes, put it onto a card base like that, and as I say, you've got a very elegant Christmas card, but very simple, you know, only a few little elements on there, but I think it looks absolutely lovely. So what we used today was the Sounds of the Season dies, the Cherish the Season, whoops, throwing it about, Cherish the Season stamp set, and one ink pad, which is Merry Merlot. So a beautiful set, because you can do so much with it, and we just use some of the brushed metallics and a little bit of ribbon. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, stay safe, stay well, and be kind. Bye bye.